table before me, I was struck by how qualified and how perfect Jesus is as a life coach. And as if my attention surrounding coaching was a magnet, I suddenly began receiving multiple email requests a day asking me to develop a faith-based coaching program that had Jesus as the model. In our time together, I'm going to share with you thoughts, reflections, observations, stories, and personal experiences of what it is like to have Jesus as a personal coach. But first, I want to give you a little background. My life with Jesus as my personal coach began officially when I was 14. My asking him to come into my heart and be my Lord and Savior was an accumulation of events and experiences, such as hymns sung around the organ with my grandparents, and many hours sitting on pews in Presbyterian and Methodist churches with my father, mother, sister, and brother. One summer before my freshman year in high school, I went on a trip with my best friend Nancy. Our parents let us take a train ride to Mexico City to meet a family there who would entertain us and show us the town. On the way there, we spent the night at a small hacienda owned by friends of Nancy's parents. After the couple met us at the train and took us out for lunch, each of us retired to a separate room. After unpacking my bag, I walked into the courtyard that overlooked the valley below. It was late afternoon in a hot July. From a distance, I could see the workers from the local mine making their way up the hill toward home. There were thunderclouds building on the horizon, and a mockingbird was singing in the tree behind me. Suddenly, I experienced awe. It was transcendent and almost out-of-body, yet very much in-the-world experience. For the moment, it felt like I was both the bird and the note the bird was singing, like I was the line of men climbing the hill as well as the sky vaulting over them. It was as if I was everywhere at once, and the entire experience was suffused with both a profound knowing and an all-encompassing love. In that moment, I knew that God was real, and I was real. I breathed a silent prayer as I leaned into the adobe wall, asking Jesus to come into my life and guide me as teacher, friend, lover, and lifelong personal coach. In that moment, Jesus went from being a figure on a cross to a friend walking alongside me. We have since laughed together, cried together, not spoken for months at a time, argued over principles, and danced in sunlit meadows. I have seen him leaning up against a stone column in a bookstore, smiling and waiting to take me home after a long day of book signing. It has been the most challenging, exhilarating, fear-filled, exasperating, and wonderful relationship in my life. And I would not want to be without him for anything. It is an honor and a challenge to write about Jesus as a personal coach because it speaks to me of the richest and most rewarding relationship possible on this earth. But before we go any farther, I need to ask the question that has permeated the ages. What do you think about Jesus? Who do you think he is? Jesus is one of the most revered and misrepresented figures in history. His life has inspired saints and incited riots. His image, which we've only reconstructed since there were no cameras in his time, decorates and sanctifies some of the most beautiful buildings in the world. His name is used for both cursing and blessing. Some people who sing it in churches on Sunday are afraid to mention it at work on Monday. People who claim to be his representatives have committed some of the most heinous acts against humanity. Religions have sprung up around him, nations have been divided, cultures have been delineated, and families have been torn apart. Clearly, this man has had an impact on history. When I spoke at the International Conference on Business and Spirituality held in Acapulco, Mexico, I asked the 350 people assembled in the ballroom, how many of you have come from a Judeo-Christian background? Nearly 80% of the people raised a hand. I then asked, how many of you have been hurt or turned away from your religion because of ill-informed people who used religion to try to do you harm?